Yes, yes. Good evening. So today we'll discuss about some important aspects before getting into Plato. Normative, scientific. These two terms are very important. Okay. What is normative? Normative basically means on the basis of norms or values. Okay. We have to do particular work because it is good for us. Okay. It is good for society. Democracy is good for everyone. These are all our beliefs. It is not the actual truth. Okay. So anywhere, if norms or values are dominating, then we call it as what? Normative. I want to establish a good society. Okay. That is called as what? Normative. I'm not telling what type of society. My aim is to establish a very good society. You will tell, right? Why do you want to become an IAS officer? Why do you want to become an IAS officer? What is the reason? To serve. Okay. See, to serve the people is good, but how do you serve? What exactly is serve? People. Is it your family? Is it your community? Is it your country? Can I say? Norms basically problem is it looks good, but how exactly are you trying to do is not clear. So that is called normative studies, where our aim is to achieve ideal things. Okay, we want to achieve best things in life. That is normal. But when we talk about scientific, scientific will be achieved like, uh, let us say, Israel is a good country. Okay, uh, Pakistan is a bad country. This is normative, correct? Is Israel really good? Pakistan really bad? Depends upon who you are, correct? So, scientific basically means I will take 190 countries and I will ask opinion of 190 countries. 130 countries said, like, Pakistan is bad. 150 countries said India is good. I will give this data and then tell, according to the recent survey, India is considered as good by 150 countries. That is called as what? Scientific. Okay. I come to conclusion based on scientific facts. That is called as what? Scientific. Okay. If I try to do on the basis of norms, values, that is normative. I'll give one example. You might have heard political science, political theory. Okay. The moment I say political theory, theory can be normative. But when I say political science, right, science basically means what? I am going to use data and then come to conclusion. That is the fundamental difference. Okay. So you just write subheading as study of political science. Study of political science. There are different approaches to study political science. Political science. First one, normative, normative hyphen. Here, here we consider we consider norms or values, norms or values to study, to study political theory, political theory. The ultimate goal, the ultimate goal is to achieve, is to achieve particular values, particular values, which may be religious values, which may be religious values, or global values, global values. Next, second one, scientific, scientific hyphen. Here, here we try to consider, we try to consider a particular behavior or theory, or theory based on, based on scientific data, scientific data. For example, for example, study of, study of different constitutions, different constitutions before, before before coming into conclusion, coming into conclusion. Okay, now this, see, today we are going to start with Western political thought. In this thought is seen in three areas or eras. When I say ancient, ancient people were on the basis of norms. Okay, normative. And under this, we normally consider Plato and Aristotle. Actually, Socrates is there, but Socrates has not written anything in a complete form. So, as we do not have proper evidences of what he actually told, we don't consider Socrates things. Through Plato only we try to analyze. Okay. And when it comes to medieval, it is more about God. So when God comes, we leave. Okay. And then the modernity started with scientific or with rational. Okay. Here comes the people like Hobbes and others. Okay. This will be the transition. Okay. So I just want you to know, whenever you write about Plato, you can start by telling he is one of the ancient philosophers. In that form, you can go. Okay. Just make note of this. you should have clarity of the time period and where they are talking about. Okay, this shouldn't be confusing for you what they are trying to tell. See, he is known as father of political philosophy. He is known as father of political science. He actually tries to become little scientific. He compares. Whereas this guy is mostly about what? Philosophy, right? Now, this is one of the reasons why we tell in essays, even though it's philosophical essays, you need to write data, you need to write comparisons, you need to write case studies. The reason for that is this particular change, because our answer must be not philosophy, but it must be scientific enough to come to conclusion. They want to know how scientific you are in your answers. Fine. Now, to begin with, okay, we'll start with Plato. So, see, every thinker will have a particular time period of his own. Okay, he would have been in a particular time period, and this particular time period decides his thought process. For example, if a person is born in Manipur today, if a person is born in Afghanistan today, if a person is born in United States of America today, will there be difference in their mindsets? Will there be difference in their behavior? Huh. For a person in Manipur, what is important? Peace. Can we say today he is under threat? Anyone can kill him anytime. Is it important for him freedom of speech, expression, or life? First priority is what? Life. Okay. For a person in Afghanistan, what is more important? Freedom of speech, expression. United States, they are fighting for LGBT rights. Are you getting the point? So everyone has different things on the basis of place and the time they are present. This is one of the reasons you need to know the time period of any philosopher. Second, every philosopher has particular, what do you call as, like, idea that he is trying to promote. Okay, he wants to achieve something. That is what we see in this particular thing. And Plato's core concept is to achieve what? Ideal state. What is ideal state? Ideal state is God's system. Okay, so you cannot bring God. So he says you should make philosophers. Okay, and in ideal state, what is going to happen? What is Ramarajya? What do you understand by Ramarajya in our philosophical terms? What is the meaning of Ramarajya? We will achieve Ramarajya. Gandhi was talking about Ramarajya. What is Ramarajya? Justice. What is expected from government? Least thing that is expected, freedom of speech, expression, all this is fine. What is expected from the government? Justice. So, Plato's core concept is to achieve ideal state, and that ideal state will try to provide what? Justice. And who will achieve this? That is also important. Who should work for it? And he says there is philosophers. Okay. And Plato is one guy who is talking about what? Everyone see here, from last two classes also you try to think. Is he trying to talk about ideal state? Is he trying to talk about God's state? That means, can you tell, is state powerful or people powerful? State. Because the moment you are trying to make state ideal, make state God's state, who will become powerful? State. That means, can I say state will have more powers over people? That is the core thing why he is being criticized. Okay. And as I told you, how are we going to achieve this? He says it should be achieved by what? Philosopher. And he has given one education process. Okay, he gives one education system to identify philosopher. And that problem with this is you have to study for 50 years. Schooling, everything together, ultimately 50th year you will get to know whether you are eligible or not. Okay, that is his process where he tries to identify skills in the people. Skills in the people. Now, you tell me, what gives you ultimate happiness? What gives you ultimate happiness in your life? When do you feel happy? At least in this age. Next day you have to get up and go and work. Okay. Next day you have to get up and go and work. What motivates you? The work that you do, if it is not motivating, will you get up and go? No. That means, can I say, you will be happy only when you do the work which you like. You will not be happy when you do the work which you do not like. So, if you are not waking up early in the morning to study, that means, right, this is not helping you. You like the process. What? You like IAS, but you don't like reaching there. Process. So, based on the skills, he says, your happiness will be there. And if you get that happiness, if everyone in the society gets happiness, you will achieve what? Just a society. When is society happy? When everyone gets what they want, right? Everyone like to do the job what they like. That is when you get just a society. These are some of the core ideas of, like, Plato. I'll go in detail, but do you get this? You understand? Now, his first core concept is real is shadow of idea. This is essays. Can you tell me what is the meaning of that? Real or reality is the shadow of idea. This is how essays will be asked. If you have not taken PSIR, if you are reading generally, you won't understand what they are trying to tell. Okay. See guys, reality is called present world, living world. Idea is what? Ideal world. And who has ideal world? God. God's world is called ideal world. So his core concept is reality is the shadow of ideas. Okay. So whatever you are seeing is just the shadow of ideas. Now here in this concept, he tries to explain it with something called as allegory of caves. Okay. So what he says, imagine you have a cave. See, this is a story of this. Imagine you have a cave and like people are sitting in the cave where their hands are tied backwards. Okay, they are not sitting front, they are sitting backwards. There are two people sitting backward, and there is a fire. This fire is putting shadow inside the cave. Can I say if fire is behind and if I'm sitting in front, shadow will fall? Yes. So this shadow is seen inside the cave. So the people are so happy looking at the shadow and their hands are tied. What is the meaning of tied? Ignorance. Okay. They are not trying to turn back. They are not trying to see outside. They are seeing inside and they are feeling it is very good. So Plato is trying to say people in this real world, in this world, they are just living like like a shadow. They don't know what exists. So what they are trying to do, they are just looking at the shadow and they are feeling very good about it. At this point of time, he says, like Plato says, one guy will try to open it. Okay, he will try to open it. He'll break it. Once he breaks, he comes out. In our terms, it is called enlightenment. Buddha got enlightenment. Same way, he says he will break and then he will go out. When he goes out, remember, all of a sudden, from darkness, if you enter into light, can we say you'll have the pain? Will you suffer a bit? That suffering is the process of enlightenment, according to Plato. And that guy sees outside. He'll see the actual world to be so beautiful. He will love it. And he will not be quiet. He won't enjoy. He will go back. And he will tell others, you also come. Outside it's beautiful. Nothing is here. But everyone won't come. Everyone won't come. They'll tell this is good. Like, be in your limits. Whatever you have is good. That guy will force. Again and again he will force. He will bring them out. And then he will make everyone to see. Once everyone sees the real world, that is God's world, then people will feel that they also want to live such a life. Right? So, what is it? Can I say here? He is trying to bring people out of darkness. Yes. What is it? Material world. We are all dependent on what? Money, something, passion, something we require. But that is not the actual thing. Who someone should tell us about that? Who is that? That is a philosopher. That can be Buddha. That can be Jesus Christ. That can be Prophet Muhammad. Anyone who have got enlightenment and who have tried to remove people from that and push them towards enlightenment. See, this is where the problem comes. Don't you think Prophet Muhammad, Christianity, they also did the same? And can I say they established a state? They established a state. Then they wrote Bible, Quran and all. Some people misinterpreted it. Did that lead to terrorism? Today, Taliban says same concept. Taliban says Plato is correct. Prophet Muhammad was like this. He came out, he got enlightened, and he wrote Quran. And my role is to follow Quran. That is God's word. Can I say totalitarian? That is, people like Taliban can also use Plato. Yes, that's why they are not accepted by open societies. Why there is criticism is this particular thing. But did you understand allegory of caves? A story, you need not write the story anywhere. What you need to know is what is the meaning? Reality is shadow of idea. Okay, I'll give you a few points. First, you write Plato. He is known as father of father of political philosophy. Political philosophy. He has written. He has written 36 books. 36 books called called Aristotle's. Full stop. Some of his some of his works are Republic, Republic, Statesman, Statesman, comma, Apology, Apology, etc. Next, his main goal, his main goal is to achieve is to achieve ideal state, ideal state, which is perfect state. He believes he believes ideal state is world of God, world of God. Okay, I want you all to recollect this particular word of Plato can be used to criticize him by giving example that terrorists also try to achieve the state of God in their own basis. Today, Iran is considered as what? Theocratic state. They want to establish what? God's world. You write in brackets there only. This is application, guys. What you can do, see, uh, if possible, write, leave a small column and write separately. In that only, in that page itself, wherever you are writing, make a small box or so and write additional points. From the next page, in every page, you leave some part of it. I'll give applications of that here itself. Fine. So, you write there, note, the concept of ideal state, the concept of ideal state is being is being accepted by accepted by several people several people where where they try to make the country where they try to make the country totalitarian. Totalitarian. What is totalitarian? Totalitarian means complete, like, sorry, uh, controlling you completely. Okay, the meaning of this, you can't smile, okay, you can't laugh. I told you, Kim Jong, okay, you can't wear burqa, you can't remove burqa. This is all fine, but your thought is also controlled. How? Can I say, um, you have NCC? Why is NCC done? What is the use of NCC? March 1st, have you seen? What is the use of March 1st? Why is it, why is it taught to you in school days? Have you seen people will walk every somewhere, someone will tell buy a moon, like, they'll all turn, salute. Have you seen? Why is that required? To show discipline. Anything more? What is the use of discipline? Limiting thought. See, every day you walk, every day you walk. Someone will tell, turn right, you turn right. Someone will turn left, turn left. Will you think? Will you think? Or will it happen? It will happen. Can I say your mind is processed and I will tell you what to think. I will tell you what to do. You will work only on the basis of orders, not on the basis of thinking. So, how will that occur? Have you seen army people every day March 1st will be there? What is the use? At least running will help. What is the use of March 1st? Discipline. Not just discipline, controlling the thought. Shoot, they will shoot. Correct? Army people, you see, shoot, they will shoot, irrespective of whoever is there. Doesn't matter to them. I want to shoot, I'll shoot. Lathi charge when they do, police when they beat. They know innocent people are there, women are there, children are there. Your mind will not accept so easily. But your mind is controlled by the police orders. He'll suddenly take and start beating. Have you seen? Like, lathi charge and all, when it happens, they don't think who is there. They just keep beating. They're taught only to beat. This is where totalitarianism comes into picture. What is totalitarianism? Not only controlling your actions, but also controlling your, everyone will think in the same way. I gave you a statement, if you recollect. What is the statement? Like, if everyone thinks the same way, then no one is thinking. That is where this comes into picture. Totalitarianism. See, a small line by Plato. What is his line? Let's have God's world, beautiful world. But that is being misused theoretically to this extent. That's why philosophers are very careful when they talk. You should be also careful when you talk about them. Okay. So, you wrote note, you did not write anything. The country, to make the country totalitarian. Below this, example, Taliban, Taliban believes, believes that they want to establish, they want to establish ideal state of God, ideal state of God, and they have taken away, and they have taken away rights of, rights of people, rights of people. Next, you write, Plato tries to, Plato tries to argue that, argue that only in, only in ideal world, ideal world, people will be happy. People will be happy. And and achieve this ideal world, achieve this ideal world, there must be, there must be philosopher king. There must be philosopher king. Okay. Philosopher king, K-N-G, king. Huh. I want you to write example for this specific one. In Iran, in Iran, supreme leader, supreme leader is made, is made so that, so that he will act as, he will act as philosopher king. Are you understanding? Guys, the only difference between you and others must be examples. How you vary from others anywhere is example. Content remains same. What Plato said remains same. If you are able to apply it to the present context. See, in Iran, there is a leader. Okay. So, there is a leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, right? And he is called religious leader. And he is made supreme leader of Iran. Why? They tell there should be a religious leader, and below religious leader, democracy exists. That means, can I say philosopher is the king? He will control everything. That is what here we are trying to tell. So it is similar to Iran's case. Okay. So next you write subheading, theory of ideas. Theory of ideas. Right. Quote, reality is the shadow of ideas. Shadow of ideas. Below this you write, in brackets you write, in this real world, in this real world, we can't see, we can't see what is in the world, what is in the world of God, what is in the world of God, because real world, real world is just shadow of, shadow of God's world, God's world. Full stop. God's world is perfect, God's world is perfect, and real world is not perfect. To explain this concept, Plato introduced allegory of caves. Allegory of caves. Draw this. Hitler was seen as a philosopher king. Mussolini was seen as a philosopher king. Kim Jong Un is seen as a philosopher king. They pray him. Okay. In China, Xi Jinping says, I'm God. Okay. He openly says, who gives you food? State gives food. State gives you job. That means who? Me. Pray to me, not Allah. This is the fight they have with Uyghur Muslims. Recently, when Muslims had the festival Bakrid, they did not allow to have their songs and all. They played Chinese national anthem and told celebrate. I'm just trying to tell this is where problem comes. Mao. They all tried to tell philosopher kings. Whatever they tell, we need to follow. And the moment king becomes God, problem is even if he kills people, it will be accepted. This is where bad and good will be decided by those people. Fine. You saw this. You write below. The main aim, the main aim of of this concept this concept was to show was to show difference between difference between real knowledge real knowledge and illusion of knowledge. Illusion. Illusion of knowledge. First, it also tries to show it also tries to show that reality is shadow of ideas. According to the image, there are there are three, here only two, but three to four people. There are three to four people sitting with sitting with their hands tied their hands tied back tied back. First, they are facing the cave. They are facing the cave. First, they can't turn, they can't turn or move back or move back. Next paragraph. Here, here, cave indicates, the cave indicates the real world, the real world in which we are living, in which we are living. Hands tied, hands tied indicates, indicates ignorance, indicates ignorance. Next, next paragraph. You write subheading story, subheading story. No need to elaborate these things in exam, but three or four people, three or four people sitting with hands tied, three or four people sitting with hands tied, feel, feel shadow is real, feel shadow is real. Don't know, they don't know that there is, that there is real world, real world, and this is just an illusion, and this is just an illusion. They are, but they are very happy, but they are very happy from within, from within. Next paragraph. In this real world, in this real world, one guy, one guy tries to break the chain, tries to break the chain and goes out, and goes out. First, he enters sunlight, he enters sunlight and feels the pain, and feels the pain. He realized that, he realized that what he saw in the cave, what he saw in the cave is just, is just illusion of reality, illusion of reality. That is, that is, he achieves enlightenment. He achieves enlightenment. Here, here, sunlight indicates, sunlight indicates reasoning. Sunlight indicates reasoning. First, after realization, after realization, He went back to the cave. He went back to the cave and explained it to others. And explained it to others. First, they laughed. They laughed and made fun of him. They laughed and made fun of him. But he forced, but he forced everyone to go, everyone to go and see sunlight, and see sunlight. They also realize, they also realize and the world, and the world will start living in, and the world will start living in God's world. Next paragraph. In this story, in this story, Plato argues, Plato argues, why did that guy, why did that guy break the chain, break the chain, and why did he go, and why did he go? Can you tell why Buddha got enlightenment? Why Buddha left everything? He was a king, right? Siddhartha became Buddha. But why? There were so many kings. Social? What was his social conditions? He had not seen death, pain. Okay, anyone? For search in real world. But what was, why Buddha? Curious. Huh, good. How many of you will be really curious to know? Do you question everything or do you accept? Book, money, okay? Money and something to exercise, okay? Let's say dumbbells or something you have. So can you tell uh, how many of you like to take a book, okay? How many of you go with money? Good. So how many of you go for physical activities? Others are always confused, like, what to take. Are you getting the point? Uh, the moment someone tells you what is more important, knowledge or money? Knowledge or money? Knowledge. What about money? Money can't exist without knowledge. Very good. Uh, Here, I just want everyone to tell what they love most. Okay, if it's your free time, what do you love to do most? Okay, just one word, whatever it is. What do you love to do most? Okay, you ma'am. Read stories. Okay, you ma'am. Songs. Playing what? Okay, sports. Ma'am, like what? Eating, drinking. moving, like, trips, movies, movies with family. Okay, then family members again. Okay, then social work, service. Okay, so acha, acha. Plato was not aware about that. Like, yes, sleeping. Good. Then what type? Trekking, something adventurous or temple? Don't change according to me. Yeah, playing. Good. Then okay, mom. Okay, tell. Don't do anything. Discussion with. Okay, something associated to reading. You trips. Then friends. You media, social media. So based on this, I'll divide you people into three groups. Okay, one who like to be intellectual, to whom happiness comes because they are involved in some sort of knowledge. Only one person told reading. Okay, so anything associated with that, that is called as what? Intellectual things. Guys, just imagine a guy with a telescope sits for 14 years every day looking at the sky. And after 14 years, he shouts and says, I found a new planet. But for that, he took 14 years. Can everyone sit for 14 years? We feel, are you fool? If it is there, let it be there. But that gives them happiness. Not everyone can do that. True. Can I say someone scientist, like, someone working on a microorganism? He's sitting, he's seeing, he's thinking. What wherever he is in that particular mode only. You might have seen before exam. If you have read very well, even in the sleep you will be reading. Books will come. Okay. Some people would have read so well that even now they will have dreams where school they are going, writing exam, pen is not moving, time is going up. You get just stuck with those. I'm just trying to tell intellectuals. Some people racing, physical activity, they are extremely good in physical activity, sports. If you give time, they'll think about something. And their body is so flexible, they'll be always thinking about some sports or something. Like, not just mind. For example, Gukesh and all are different. When you talk about chess players and all, that's different. Badminton. It's not easy to wake up early in the morning. That's why many people pay gym. They don't go. Have you seen? They pay. New Year, you go, you pay. Later, will you go? No. Why? You're not made for that. By the time you go, who will take all these things? And there will be some people for whom money And temporary happiness is important. Anything it may be. Like, I'm free. If I laugh for a while, if I sleep for a while, if I eat for a while, it's enough. It's more about my body things. Okay. What are the body things? Sleeping, eating, right? Whatever animal does, I also do. There is no difference, me and animal. I came here, I will go. One day I'll go. Why to worry so much? Live today's life. Have you heard? Like, today's life is very important. Let's live. We don't know. After Air India flight accident, many people are like, we don't know when we'll go. There is no guarantee even if we are sitting and eating food. Why to waste life? Let's enjoy. Animals also do same. They don't think much. No tomorrow, no day after tomorrow. They think same. I'm talking about Plato's classification. But some animals are very powerful. You might have seen lion. You might have seen lion. Lion don't accept, like, if it hurts its self-respect. Okay. Lion never eats a food hunted by any other animal. It will hunt. And lion don't keep food for 2 to 3 days and eat. You talk tiger, what it does, once it hunts, it keeps the food for 3 days and then it will eat. Lion, it will eat and leave the remaining for other animals. Other animals will be waiting for lion to complete. And once lion completes, it won't. That's why it's king, not others. It's because of its ego. It's because of its attitude. And that attitude is more physical. Some people behave like rulers. Have you seen? Some people have that leadership quality. Like, do something, they'll wake up, they go, they do, and come. Some people have that. Not everyone. Introverts will be there, extroverts will be there. But on stage performance, leaders will be different. Yes? Yes, there is huge difference between having a talent and having leadership. You may have talent. If you have talent in doing something, it's different. But setting up a system is different. Elon Musk has knowledge, but he also has the capacity to run a system. That is where, like, other things come. Physical is more about strength. How many of you really want to become a soldier? Like, when you have exams like SSB, CAPF, CRPF, some people will be like, sir, I want police job. I want, like, what do you call, uniform jobs. I am not ready for small jobs. Have you seen? Some people clearly tell. I know many people who keep only IPS. They tell, I don't want IAS. Sir, I want that. Physical. Some people are more intellectual. They get happiness. I'm telling you, you might have heard about Archimedes principle, right? Uh, Archimedes, how did he find that particular thing? What is it? Like, if you take water, okay, if you put 1 kilo of water, sorry, 1 kilo of rock into the water, water gets displaced, right? How much water did it displace determines the density of that. That was the concept he came. So he went, he always used to think only about it. He went into washroom, tub was full. He just fell into that. Water came down. He ran outside telling, like, I achieved something. He did not realize that he's wearing clothes or not wearing clothes. They'll be mad. Have you seen Einstein, how he looks? Like, he doesn't bother about hairstyle and all. Just go. Intellectuals. They will be completely focusing on what their work. Wherever you are, whatever you are, they'll be thinking only about that. Abdul Kalam, Sridharan. Big things are achieved by such people. So, Plato says, society, every person has all the three. Do you agree? You'll have intellectual things also. You will have physical also. You'll have money things also. That is like animal. So, when we have all the three, one will be dominating in us. Do you agree? Any one will be dominating little higher, and that decides who you are. That means his core concept is, in every individual there will be rationalities, there will be what do you call as physical strength, and there will also be appetite. Appetite is basically about human need. Okay. The one who has knowledge or fight for rationality should become kings. The one who have physical strength should become soldiers. And the one who has appetite, need, they should focus on business. If you need more money, do business. Make sense? And remember, people with knowledge are always given high priority. Even in our caste system, when you see, like, what are the three Brahmins? Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. But for us, Shudras were made. See, there were no Dalits. There were no Dalits. It was like came later. But when you take Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Shudras, Brahmins are knowledge, right? Kshatriyas, physical strength, and then Vaishyas. Who is given more priority? Knowledge. Knowledge is given more priority compared to money. It is today where money has taken over and knowledge has gone back. Who is respected more today? People with more money, correct? Whichever caste you are doesn't matter if you have money, correct? Whoever you are doesn't matter if you have money. Which caste, which religion doesn't matter, because rich are always one, poor are always one. This is where, like, so Plato is trying to divide society on the basis of what characteristics they have. So, in this allegory of caves, he's trying to tell, why did that one guy break the chain and go? Because he had rationality. He wanted to question. It is because of that he broke. Not everyone breaks. Why do you want to know how to make a will? How inventions come? Why do you have so many inventions? Why are people so mad about inventions? Have you seen? There was an era of inventions. There is no invention today. There was era of inventions. Why so many inventions, innovations at that time? Because was Newton rich? Was Einstein rich? Today, if you have innovation, it's of no use. It is associated with what? Money. That's where today's problem is. Erstwhile, it was purely for the sake of commitment. I'm respected in the society. How many of you know top three businessmen? Like top three rich people. Can you tell who the top first? Elon Musk, Bezos, Warren Buffett. Uh, can you tell three physics Nobel Prize recently? No. Why? Because today, what is more important? Money than knowledge. Today's world has been interchanged. This is what Plato says. Imagine if a person who has more appetite, if he becomes a king, what will happen? Corruption increases. Why is corruption more today? Because politicians are greedy. Politicians need more money, correct? Are they doing business? No. What are they doing? Try to take as much money as possible. Second, like, a person who has physical strength, who is very good, in the physical strength. He is not doing the physical strength. He is going and working in software company. Why? Because soldiers are paid less compared to software engineers. So this is where Plato says confusion in the society, what to do, what not to do, leads to problems. Everyone here is being told you have to become IAS, IPS, fine. Or else before you choose this particular path, everyone did degree. At that time, what was your plan? What was your plan during your degree? Get a job. Very few, like, right from degree, they wanted civil services. But what was the main thing you will have at that particular point? Get a job, right? You work for a job. Why? Everyone is doing same. So Plato says, don't you think it's confusion, guys? I did my, like, B in biotechnology. Okay. Later, I did masters in international relations. No, like, connection. After that, I started teaching geography. Later, I'm teaching PSIR, going back to my own subject. I'm just trying to tell, is there confusion? Everyone has some sort of confusion. Let us say you did medical science, you studied for IAS, you became IRS, okay, and you are looking at railway accounts. Where is the link? Are you getting the point? You became IAS, let's say medical field, you became IAS, you became head of temple. What is the use? So, Plato says, will you be happy after becoming MD, MBBS, 5 years, 7 years you read, you worked very hard, you became IAS, you became a good officer, you went and you started working. Will you be happy? You'll think, what I have done to myself. Some people can't go back, that's why they stay back. IIM they study, IIT, IIM they complete, MBA, very good job, everything is there, they come back, they think something will happen, they do. They say, if you had to do that, if you had to do this, why so many confusions? Plato says, this confusion removes happiness from you. Removes happiness from you. You won't be happy what you're doing. So he wants to give happiness. Giving happiness is what he calls as justice. And that's what is God's world. What is God's world, you tell me? You go in front of God and pray for what you want. And God will allow you to do what you want. Correct? But God says choose only one. Whatever you choose, you will get the best. You choose only one. Which one do you choose? Recently, our soldiers went to Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay, Mount Kilimanjaro, 6 kilometer height, freestanding mount. I saw the pictures. They are so happy, so excited, climbing 6 kilometers. They did not had food. They just drank water and they climbed. I was talking to other person, like, what fun they have, like, climbing a mountain. What will you get? You can go in helicopter also, no? Are you getting the point? So that is where he says happiness comes into picture. So this is the most important aspect of theory of justice given by Plato. I'll come to the concept, but you write the question what he raised. You read the last line. What is the question he has raised? He is arguing, why did that particular person go? Correct? You write, Plato argues that in that person, in that person, reasoning dominated, reasoning dominated compared to, compared to other elements, other elements. Okay. Now I started by telling you his main concept is reality is the shadow of ideas. That means what? To achieve real world, right? Sorry, to achieve God's world, you should come out of illusion. Who will help you in coming out of illusion? Philosopher. So who is that philosopher? That philosopher is the one who has more of rationality, reasoning capacity. Then he says about this particular concept through what you call as theory of soul. Okay, you write below theory of soul. In this theory, in this theory, he tries to explain, he tries to explain elements, the elements which are present, which are present in every individual, in every individual. He broadly classifies them. He broadly classifies them into three elements. Into three elements. First one, reason. I think I told you this. Because before 16 years, if you do a crime or if someone does a crime, it is not considered a crime. Why? Because you do not have the ability to think. Same way, animals, machines, if they are involved in any attacks, any killings, you cannot punish because it doesn't have thinking. So, what is reason? Reason separates humans from rest. Why are humans different from others? Because of our reasoning capacity. This is one of the main reason. Have you seen if any person does a crime and then if he proves in the court that he is mentally ill, court will tell leave him. Have you seen? Like, if you are proven to be mentally ill, you can be like, you cannot be punished. Why? Because you do not have reasoning capacity. So this is one of the basic thing that you must remember. Okay, what is reasoning? What is rationality? According to Plato, is it separates man from the rest. But this is where problem is. The moment I tell reasoning, okay, many people, especially people like Aristotle and all, tell women do not have reasoning capacity. Women words cannot be taken seriously. In Pakistan, like, let us say crime occurred, okay, some killing occurred. The woman saw it. She is the witness. She will go to the court and tell, I saw the crime. They will tell woman witness is not accepted. Openly they tell woman witness is not accepted. Why? Because women, when they see something, they imagine something, they change it and they tell differently. So they tell, if at all there is woman witness, at least two women should tell. Okay, if there is woman witness, two women must be there. And that too, how the judge will do, he will call two women separately. Okay, he will ask what happened. Entire story you tell. He will call another and tell entire story you tell. If both tell same, then they will tell, yes, this is correct. But if a man has seen, then they will consider it is right. Are you getting the point? Woman was separated from the society, and some works were not given to women on the basis of this reason. Not Plato, but by others. This is where things come. You might have seen when any decision has to be taken in the family. Like, when women interfere, they normally tell, you don't know what happens outside, you don't interfere. What is that? That is called as what? You do not have the ability to think. And I will try to make that clear to everyone again and again in the society by showing you some videos of, like, women driving vehicles in a wrong way. I keep on showing it regularly to you. And immediately when you go out, when a girl is driving a vehicle, will it have impact on you? Yes, this is how society tried to show to everyone that women cannot think. So certain roles must be given for women, not every role. This was systematically done. Remember, the moment I say reasoning, why women were separated from politics, why women were separated from, like, army, navy, air force. Why do you think today when, like, the lady who was on Operation Sindhu, right? Uh, Vyomika and all, when they spoke that we can fly aircrafts and all, why is that a symbol? Because that's a very big decision where rationality comes into picture, reasoning comes into picture. This is being used historically to suppress women. Now women are coming out. This is one of the main reasons when women come first in ranks and all. Why is it being praised so much? Is it is trying to break the myth that women cannot think. Like, this is very, very essential. Remember, it's a small word which tries to tell, like, I hope you are aware, people used to tell men, they never used to tell humans. What is reason? Reason is what separates men from others. It's not even humans. It's not people. Okay. So it is what? Men separated from the rest. That's how everything was associated with men. Guys, only India is the first country where women, men, everyone were given right to vote. Today, you tell me what is one of the main reason why women reservation is not accepted in politics. One of the basic complaint is, can I say, it will be proxy of a man, sarpanch, sarpanch pati. You have something like, only the male will be looking into it, female is just a face. That itself means what? You're not giving that capacity to them, because women can't take decisions. This is where many people criticize. Feminists criticize Plato and others by saying that you are trying to tell that reason is associated with certain aspects, and women are considered to be emotional than rational. And that is where we are removed from many of these activities. Okay. So you write reason, reason hyphen, it differentiates, it differentiates men from rest. Men from rest. Full stop. Under this, under this, Plato argues, Plato argues that individual, the individual is rational, is rational and has thinking capacity, and has thinking capacity. He can differentiate, he can differentiate what is right, what is right and wrong, and wrong. This helps him, this helps him to be different from, be different from other animals, other animals. Second, second, courage, courage. It indicates, it indicates strong animals, strong animals. That is, some people, some people are very strong physically, are very strong physically. It might be, it might be because of their geography, because of their geography or culture, or culture. This, can we say, people who are on top of mountains, they are very strong physically, climbing, moving and all. The geographical aspect will make them strong. Cultural aspects also, right? Next, appetite, appetite. It is similar to animals. It is similar to animals. Where, where a human will have all the needs of, all the needs of animal, animal, like, like sleeping, sleeping, eating, etc. He is more happy, he is more happy to live, to live a normal, a normal animal life, normal animal life. Next paragraph, write separately. Every human being, every human being has all the three elements, has all the three elements. Do you agree? We have all the three, but one will be more dominating than the other, right? All the three elements, but one element, but one element will be more dominant, will be more dominant compared to other, compared to other. Full stop. Based on, based on the element, based on the element which dominates, which dominates, Plato has divided, Plato has divided three types of, three types of men. Yes, you see, Men of gold, men of silver, men of ink. Okay. Men of gold, what dominates? Reason dominates. And again, you see here, everything is for men. Even though Plato tries to bring women in the end, but their mindset was purely about what? Men. Men of silver, what dominates? Courage dominates. Men of copper, these are the three categories given by who? Plato. Men of gold, men of silver, men of copper. Philosopher comes under what? Men of gold, right? So you write below three. The moment Plato comes to your mind, first should be God's world. And who will take us to God's world? Philosopher. Philosopher is different from the rest. Why? He has reasoning. So every person will have three things, right? Reason, courage, appetite. Who can become philosopher? A person who has reasoning capacity. Okay. So you wrote these three. Now Plato is, what is the function of the soul is? Okay. Plato is trying to see what is the function of the soul. The soul's main function is to identify which element is dominating in you. You should be able to tell which one is dominating. Can everyone tell what is dominating and what is not dominating? No. Everyone will have confusion. Only philosopher king or a person with reasoning can identify what is there in you and what is not there in you. For example, I come, I'll sit with you, I'll talk for 2 minutes and tell, okay, you're men of copper, you're men of gold, you're men of silver. Can we do that? Or should I take some tests? Should I try to go rationality? What is reasoning? Reasoning is like, I will put you under certain tests and then come to conclusion whether you are fit or not. That is called as what? Like, identifying which element is stronger in you. And can you tell me who has the capacity to do that? Who has the capacity to do that? Men of copper. Imagine if men of copper is in APPSC or TSPSC, UPSC. What they will demand? Money. I heard recently, like, APPSC papers were evaluated by car driver's wife. Like, she sat and she has evaluated everyone, 2 mark, 1 mark, whatever she liked, she put. Okay. Silver, courage. Mind doesn't work much. For them, more is what? You talk, they hit. Who thinks and brings change? Men of gold. Europeans, what were they? What were Britishers? What were Britishers? Were they men of copper? Were they men of silver? We people also had courageous people. What were they? Why? Because they could reason, they could give the reason, they could convince you, correct? They convinced you that you are under them. Is that true? They convinced you that you are not above them, but you are below them on the basis of race. White man's burden. Education system they changed. They brought changes. They introduced. That is called as reasoning, rationality. Guys, uh, who will tell you at home to respect elders? Who will tell a girl, this generation is little different, but talking about little previous, uh, woman was told to dress in a particular way. Woman was told to sit in a particular way, not by men. Mother will tell you how to behave, correct? Father will never come and tell, do that, do this. Who is the one who tell mother? And grandmother more, right? So can I say patriarchy is controlled and patriarchy is implemented by women. Patriarchy is not implemented by man. Man has made woman's brain to work under patriarchy, hegemony. Like, they have trained the mind in such a way that you work hard. For whom? Women work hard. They don't get money. What? And women should not expect money. Women should not, correct? Women should not expect money. What will she expect? Love, care. And if a woman expect anything from children, if women expect anything from husband, she is not a good mother. Correct? Who created it? Men created in the beginning. But who is implementing it successfully? The moment woman questions and turns back, can men do anything? No. So, if I saw a Malayalam movie where, like, husband slaps the wife, wife goes and complains to the mother, he bit me. She tells, uh, you're not the first, you're not the last. Even your father bit me. Like, I also went and told same thing. My grandmother, like my mother told me same. But no one is telling the boy. So what I'm trying to tell you is this specific one is used to control people. I'm trying to tell I'm the best and I will control you. Let's say horoscope, marriage or anything. You take horoscopes to a Pandit. Pandit will do something and he'll tell it matches, it doesn't match and all. You see, every marriage, whether it is divorced, happy, unhappy, it would have gone to the Pandit once. But he is authority of that, correct? So the meaning of that is, this people, Plato says, is very good. But they are the one who made systems like this, who have corrupted the systems like this, is what criticism by later people. Are you dividing people? The moment you divide, is this caste system? Yes. Over a period of time, will that become segregation in the society? Will that lead to problem? This division is not accepted by many people because it leads to class division, rich poor division, and also class division, where this people children will be rulers, these people children will be workers. Like that, it would be divided, is what the criticism is. Okay, so you wrote this, right? You write function of soul. Function of soul hyphen, the main function, the main function is to guide us, is to guide us what is right, what is right, what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong, comma, what is perfect, what is perfect, and what is imperfect, and what is imperfect. Mhm. But real question is, but the real question is, how does the soul know? Soul know, KNOW, know what is right, what is right. Full stop. Here Plato argues, here Plato argues, soul has, that soul has lived in, LIVED, lived in the world of God, lived in the world of God. So it can compare, so it can compare real world, real world with God's world, with God's world. Every soul, every soul cannot, cannot comprehend, comprehend what is right, what is right or wrong, because every soul, every soul will not have, will not have reason dominating, reason dominating. Next paragraph. In the above function, in the above function of soul, in the above function of soul, Plato is trying to argue, Plato is trying to argue that, that only, only men of gold, underline that, only men of gold can perform, can perform function of soul, function of soul perfectly, perfectly, and others, and others cannot, and others cannot, because, because only their soul, only their soul has lived in, has lived in God's world, God's world. So, so establish, to establish ideal world, ideal world, we need, we need men of gold. Below that, inverted commas, you write, only those, Only those in brackets philosopher king. Only those who have reason can establish can establish kingdom of God, kingdom of God on earth. Can establish kingdom of God on earth. Okay. Okay. You understood the three? What are the three elements of the soul? Reason, courage, appetite. If reason dominates, they are known as men of gold. Courage, silver. Appetite, men of copper. Who is the perfect soul? Men of gold. They can do anything. And most importantly, they can establish, what is it? Kingdom of God. Right? Then I'll come how the justice and all comes. The very simple points that we saw today is reality is shadow of ideas. Real world is just shadow of ideal world. It is explained through allegory of caves, where the story you saw, people will be sitting with hands tied, ignorance. One person comes out in sunlight, he gets to know that it is not the real world. Real world is outside, and he brings people out. Who is that particular person? He is philosopher. How do we know he is philosopher? Because he is man of gold. And how do we know he is man of gold? Because in him reason will be dominating. Then we try to see what are the other things that are present in people, why others are not having that. For that we try to study theory of soul. In theory of soul we find that every person has three elements. In those, whichever dominates, based on that they will have different type of mindsets. There he tries to say you will have three: gold, gold, silver, copper. And the person with gold has a capacity to comprehend what is right and what is wrong, because he has reason. Others do not have reason much, so they cannot comprehend. Why this person can comprehend specifically? Because he is the only one whose soul lived in God's world. Other soul did not live. So again, can I say they are everything is rational? Again, they go back to God. That's where they become ideal, utopian, normal, like normative. I told you they're becoming normative because everything is good, but again you are going towards God. Why do you have reason? Why do you have reason? They are not trying to explain that, they are trying to tell that you are God's gift. To some extent it is true, because sometimes you don't know why people do extraordinarily well. uh, I know a person who is 80 years old. Okay. He has got Guinness record for remembering. Okay. You give cards, right? Cards, 52 cards, 10 packs you give. Okay. 10 packs you jumble. All 10 packs you jumble. Keep it. Okay. And then he will see every pack for 1 minute. 10 packs at a time he will see. 10 minutes, 10 packs he will see. You close. Okay. Give him 15 minutes. He will arrange remaining 10 packs exactly in the order. Every pack you open, you can see everything exactly he does. Like, why? He remembers. His parents are like, read. You give a book, he will read. Done. You ask anything in the book, he will tell. He'll remember anything in the book, page number, he will tell the image. You ask him why, then I don't know, but I remember. Like, 125 items are kept jumbled in 5 desks, and again they will give same thing, they have to keep it in the same form. He keeps. You ask him, you don't know why. So is this rationality, or is he blessed? He also feels he's blessed. Like, you might have heard max few people who have done extraordinarily well. Shakuntala Devi, like, When told numbers, he used to tell, I don't know. I know, like, number just come to my mind. This is where Plato and all used to tell some people are blessed. That means they came from God's world. That's how they try to justify. I'm just trying to tell everything can be proven by showing few people and saying that this is right. Fine. We'll meet tomorrow. Yes. OP Goba has these. Okay. Once entire Plato is done, you not me.